The jury for the Peabody Awards, which is, when I was on, was 15 people plus the director. It's now expanded to, I think, 18 people plus the director. Jurors are selected, or as we call them, Peabody board members, are selected usually by the director, who holds an academic position at the University of Georgia. All sorts of recommendations come in from people. People nominate themselves. They want to be on the Peabody board. And the director then has to make some selections, writes letters, would you be interested, of people he or she thinks would be appropriate. And then they have to go up through the university to be approved by the president of the university, and at one time had to be approved by the Board of Regents. I helped to change that because it just was too time consuming, so now campus approval is all that's needed. So in '89, I get a call from our letter from the director, at that time, Worth McDougall, who was a journalism professor and head of the Peabodys, asking if I would want to be on the board. And I said, yes, of course. I didn't know much about it, actually. The chair of the board at that time was Jean Furstenberg, who was the head of the AFI, American Film Institute. Jean and I had known each other for many years. She had given me a major research grant when she was at the Markle Foundation. And so I was invited to be part of the process. And it was one of the most exciting processes I'd ever been party to. 15 people sitting around a table looking at video, at that time VHS, saying, is this worthy of the most prestigious award for electronic media and the oldest award for electronic media in the world, created in 1941, for radio. First TV award in 1948. Howdy Doody was one of those shows. But mainly a lot of journalism, a lot of individual awards to prominent broadcasters. Mr. Paley, I think Mr. Stanton was awarded 3 different occasions or something like that. But increasingly, as television expanded and became more prominent, the ratio of television to radio went up. And by the time I was on the board, we were beginning to do cable. That was a big discussion. We're a broadcasting award. There was a kind of a informal arrangement with the National Association of Broadcasters. Can we do cable awards? And what's the NAB going to think about this? But we did. And so it's a 6-year appointment. It's actually a 3-year appointment, and you can renew it for 3 other years if you want to, and they want you to, and almost always that's the case. So I was pleased to serve for 6 years in these very exciting discussions, and a very, to use our term again, diverse group, although not racially diverse at that time, group of jurors. But there was an opera diva on the board with me. There were journalists on the board with me. The Undersecretary of State for Communication and Security was on the board with me. And all of these different perspectives coming at media, at television largely by that time. So I had 6 wonderful years of doing that, and we would get these great books each year of entry forms that people had submitted. We would read those entries, and then we would say, okay, I want to look at this one, and I want to look at that one. We managed to do it all in about 2.5 days, which was, looking back, probably wasn't as fair as it should be. We would work late through the night, and we would do these things. So in 2000, in the spring of 2000, the director at that time, Barry Sherman, who had succeeded Worth McDougall as the director of the Peabody Awards, and Barry was a good friend. He had been the associate director under Worth McDougall. He was also a faculty member at Georgia. Barry big, strong guy, played basketball several days a week with a group of friends at noon, and dropped on the court one day and didn't get up. A heart attack at age 47. And so that there was an interim director for a year, and they did a search, and they approached me about becoming the director, or applying for the position of the director. And I thought first that we would not do that, and I say we because it was for Sarah and me. And I thought, you know, we've been in Austin for 23 years. We love the city. Our children are here. They're grown. They're successful, doing what they want to do. I love this department and I love this university, and I've helped build this department. I don't think we should move, but this would be the only thing I would move for. So after a couple of weeks, I came home and said, I really think I'm going to have to apply. and they offered me the position. And so in 2001, we moved to Athens, Georgia, the University of Georgia, and I became the director of the Peabody Awards.